No.
Turn on the news.
This is the Herd Line News, sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Well, some slightly good news for the Rockets. They may get Russell Westbrook back for Game 5.
Oh.
They originally ruled him out as he's dealing with a right quad strain, but he's been upgraded to questionable.
Did that just happen, or what?
Yes. Yeah, within the last couple hours.
Okay.
He's expected to test out his quad today, and it's going to be a game-time decision on him returning. The Blazers, however, will not be as lucky with their injured star. Damian Lillard has been ruled out for Game 5 against the Lakers with a right knee sprain.
Westbrook cracks me up. He's just one of these guys. He has so much energy, even as a fan watching the game. He's trash talking. Here's the thing you can never say about Russell Westbrook. He doesn't care.
No, of course not.
Russell Westbrook, sometimes to a fault.
He loves basketball.
Loves it. He's great at it. I've had my problems with him. But there are a lot of guys, like I've been critical of John Wall. I'm not always sure he loves basketball. Westbrook loves basketball. He loves to talk it. He loves to play it. He loves to.
Look at this.
Oh, no.
He's amazing.
He's been unbelievable.
It's so AAU.
I mean, that, to me, that's what you want. I always say this. It's always a bummer when you feel like, as a fan, you care more about your team than your team does.
Yeah.
Nobody cares more about the Rockets than Russell Westbrook. Like, that is fantastic. He is crazy town.
I think they can get it done without him. So I'd like to have him be 100% healthy for the next series. But obviously, you got to get to the next series, and the Thunder have not been a joke. But
they miss his energy.
They miss him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't always help efficiency, but his energy. I mean, let's be honest. Harden doesn't have as many touches. You can sit sometimes and just let Russell do his thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Paul George finally got things going last night. We predicted that he would. 35 points in Game 5 against the Mavs. After the game, he said that his play early in the series was impacted by mental health struggles as he was dealing with it in the bubble.
The bubble got the best of me. I was just in a dark place. I really wasn't here. I checked out. So these past couple games, it was just difficult. Shout out to people that stood behind me, that was in my corner, the positivity, my teammates, my family, friends. I was just in a bad place, and I found my way. I'm back, and I look forward to the rest of this run.
I think it's really important that he said that. He said that he talked to a mental health professional, which the NBA has made it a point to have those in the bubble.
Yeah.
This is something that I was concerned about when the bubble first started. Like, we are, we're enjoying watching basketball, and I'm very happy that the bubble sounds as great as it has, and it's overall been an astounding success. But these are human beings who are away from their families, who are away from their homes, who are away from their normal routine, and who are dealing with the pressure of having to perform in these very extreme circumstances. So whether or not you feel like it's exaggerated because they're millionaires, how much money you make doesn't make you any less of a human.
Well, this is one of the things I said during COVID. You can lock people in their houses, but in America, 47,000 people a year commit suicide. They suspect it'll double. Like, mental health is a massive problem in America, a massive problem. And because it's not contagious, because you don't see it,
right,
like a car wreck or COVID, we don't talk about it. And social media has, of course, exacerbated these problems because young people, Paul George is a kid. These young people are sit on the Instagram and people say horrible things about them. And again, I'm at the point in my life where it's just almost comical.
Yeah.
But when you're 20, I've got a daughter, I've got kids. Paul George is a young guy. What is he, 28 years old, 29?
And he disabled his comments on his Instagram.
Yeah,
so it's and I'm with you. Like, I find it comical because these people are not going to say this to your face.
Well, you and I have been public figures for a long time.
I've just become numb to it, whether that's good or bad. Like, it's not going to affect my day. I'll argue with people, but you're not changing my mood.
Right.
But
for a lot of people, it does.
It does. And maybe it's not even just that. Like, you're isolated, and even if it is basketball and you love basketball, so what Giannis and LeBron were talking about last week, you can love basketball, but sometimes having no distractions is also a distraction. Like, this is a whole, they're going to go through waves of emotions in this thing.
As a society, we tend to cure or solve or care about stuff we can see.
Yes.
And when you can't see it, we downplay mental health. And it is something I've talked about for 3 or 4 years in the show. It is that we have a mental health pandemic in this country, and social media does it no favors.
Yeah.
It just doubles, triples, quadruples it.
And I don't look at this as an excuse whatsoever. Like there can be a reason why he was
dealing with a real
struggling,
thing.
and he was very honest and transparent about it.
Years ago, it was funny. Years ago, I had somebody in my family who was struggling with it, and it was a former in-law, and the in-law was a man. He said, "I'm not as weak," and I said, "Well, you take heart medication." I don't think you're weak because of that. What if you need more serotonin in your brain? There's a lot of people out there that think, well, I'm not taking a pill. I am not weak. We take heart medication. We take all sorts of medications. It's not a weakness.
Yeah, it's just you go to physical therapy. Why wouldn't you go to therapy for
Mental
your
therapy.
mental and emotion? It's all part of your body.
Call hotlines if you need help.
Yes. So finally, even though Tom Brady is new to the Bucs, he's been able to share his years of experience with his teammates. And Bruce Arians thinks that Brady's presence on the field is like having another coach on the staff. He said he has a great rapport with young players, building their confidence. He's like having a second coach on the field. It's one thing for coaches to tell them, but when Tom says it, they probably listen to him more than the coach. He's probably right about that. You know, you can hear things from a bunch of different people, but when you hear it from someone that you kind of want to hear it from,
sure,
you might listen to it a little bit more. Like your parents can tell you something 50 times and your best friend tells you the exact same thing. And you're like, okay, I know my parents have been telling me, but since you said it, I'm going to do it now. Yeah. Tom can clearly have that effect. I mean, everything that you're hearing from the Bucs camp is he's the GOAT, and it's so great to have him here.
This is why I tell my wife to go to therapy. You need to hear the therapist tell you how wonderful I am.
Oh,
because when I say it just deaf ears.
I mean, sometimes therapists do tell you stuff that you have been avoiding, and it's reinforces that. But yeah, I think this is absolutely right from Arians. When you have a guy that has experience that Tom Brady has, and you're trying to get young players to take it to the next level, hearing the same thing from your coaches over and over again might not register. As soon as Tom says it, he's unquestioned. Like, he has the success that you can't question. So if he's telling you to do it, I mean, how are you going to tell him
If you were
no?
a basketball player and Kawhi came up and he's not overly verbal and he's like, hey, dude, you got to take a step, take the angle. As a young player, you'd be like, oh, my God. Like, there's so much in your peer group.
Yeah.
It has so much more impact than coaches do.
Well, because they know how to physically, and not the coaches haven't played or whatever, but when you're in a position of power where they're telling you and you think you know everything, like having somebody who is your peer, who's, Tom Brady was in the league before some of these kids were born. So it's a massive impact to have Tom tell you something.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So who